What's up, everybody? Uh, we are here on this Monday. It is Saudi Arabian Grand Prix race weekend. I know we're a minute or two late after our 5:30 scheduled time, but I believe we are good on the technical side. Which, if you tried to watch the stream last week, which would pretty much just be Julian or Brooke, we had a whole bunch of issues, and I think we're gonna be great today. So we should have a good show for you. We're gonna, like I said, preview the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Jeddah. Only been 2 years, so not a lot of history there. But I think there's plenty to talk about. Both years have provided high level of entertainment. So that's going to be awesome to watch this weekend because I'm sure it's not going to let us down. And returning again, he put up with all the technical drama with me last week, stayed extra after the show. Alex will be back to chat with me. We're going to preview the race. We're going to have a few questions to ask each other, maybe some prediction picks for the race this weekend. So it should be a pretty good show today. But first and foremost, I want to get started with this video that my friend Max sent me this week because I feel like we all need a feel-good video to start the weekend. And I hope that you guys are going to be able to hear this video because without the sound, it's nowhere near as good. But it's 54 seconds. We're going to watch all of it together. It is absolutely golden. So TikTok here shouts out Carrie92 Mason. Let's take a look at this. All right. So I actually don't know because if you guys could pick up any of that audio, which I will figure out once I play back this video and watch it. But super cute young girl there. No sound kid, of course. Super cute video of this girl though naming all the race car drivers with a really good accent. But it's pretty good. She names all the drivers. Her favorite Senna. So maybe I'll get this link up in the chat for you guys to watch, just in case you guys want to take a peek at an amazing video here. But like I said, Saudi Arabian Grand Prix this week. There's been two races. Previous winners last year, Max Verstappen. The year before that, Lewis Hamilton. New track. It's a street circuit, so a little bit different. Tire degradation because it's a street circuit, but it is fairly new, so it doesn't beat up the tires as bad as some of these old street circuits do. But it's a good one. Very high speed. It's known for high speeds being more of a front grip track. Okay, so where we were at last week, Bahrain, because of the old surface that they have, has not been paved since 2004. Kind of more of a rear end track. All right, so tires get beat up a little bit more. Here it's a little bit more front end heavy through the high speed turns that they have. Very few big braking zones. So what may seem like a walk in a park, certain teams are already coming out, Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari, all saying that this track will be different, so that different things may happen. So that's pretty much that. I am going to dial up my guy Alex here, get him ready. And then we should be good to go. Alex, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. You guys are in for a treat. Because if you saw
Alrighty.
last week, it was absolutely horrendous. All right? But, Alex, before we get started today, me and you have some issues that we gotta discuss.
Alrighty.
You have a Twitch, right?
I do.
How'd you not follow the channel? New Twitch. You're on the channel. You didn't even follow it this week. What is going on?
My
That's
bad, my
messed
bad. I
up.
usually don't. I don't follow too often. I don't really go on it too often, to be
Are you
honest. But
subscribed to the YouTube channel at least?
no.
Oh my! How are we gonna tell people to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button? You don't even do it, and you're on the
All
show.
right, you're right. You're right. I got to create a new YouTube thing because my YouTube current username is pretty embarrassing. So I'm a switch it up a little bit.
Oh, it's one of those old ones, huh?
Yeah, it's like 15 years old. I think I made it.
Oh my gosh, it's probably so cringe. I'm actually a little jealous. I want to know
Oh
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah. I'm good. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it a mystery.
Um, well, let's talk about some racing. You excited? It's race week. How's it feel?
Excited. I'm for the street circuit. I think we're gonna end up with a little bit more of a surprise than people think. I think everyone expects Red Bull to just kill it, and I think they will kill it. I just think it's gonna be a little bit more tighter than people think.
Yeah, I've read some reports that Ferrari a little bit better in the straight line speed, and this is a fast track. It's
I'm not
basically
hearing anything from Ferrari until they fix the reliability issue with Charles.
well, I listen. Well, so
I'm
they'll
not
call.
trusting anything they say.
Yeah, but think about how boring the races would be Sunday if they didn't blow up during them.
Yeah, of course, let's compromise their race time and time again for Charles. Just
Listen, you're not a
uh,
Ferrari fan. I'm not a Ferrari
uh,
fan, so
yeah, I know, but it's hard to it's hard to watch Charles week after week after week after week after week. Yeah, like half of last season, I don't think he finished half the races.
oh my dude, I saw a clip where a reporter said to him, right? I kid you
Mm-hmm.
not. I think it was Max Verstappen has won 25 races in the last 2 years. Do you know how many Ferrari has won in the last 10? And Charles was like, no, and I think this is going to hurt. And the answer is 23. But a reporter had the balls to ask him that. Oh my gosh. That is
I mean,
disgusting.
he should have just asked how many races has Charles finished in the last 3 years, and that would have been a fair question.
Oh my, that's equally as painful.
I feel so
Well,
bad for the dude, man. It's just like, how can you have this much talent? And good on him though, because he is patient. Because I'm sorry, I would have lost it on everyone in that facility about 1,000 times over.
I know. Doesn't he handle the whole situation with just like
Oh,
class every
extremely,
time?
yeah. Oh, professional. I don't know how, because I'm sorry. Even like, yeah, I don't know how he does it, because I would have lost it too many times over, and I would have been out of the sport and racing with the kids and go karting.
Yeah, I absolutely. I don't know. That team is so like historic that you want to like support them, but like, oh man, you just can't keep
And,
breaking stuff.
and I love their driver lineup too. Carlos and Charles are two talented, extremely talented drivers. I think they're probably like top. I would say top two in driver lineup, other than Mercedes, Lewis and George. And they just can't get it together to at least give these guys a chance to compete, because they can both, I think, compete. I also think that what does kind of hurt them a little bit, it seems like Carlos and Charles have two different driving styles.
Yep.
So they're trying to figure out which one to like. I think they really have to solidify who's the number one there, which obviously I think everyone thinks it's Charles. And to me, it's Charles too. But then they have to lean the car entirely to Charles' driving style for them to figure
Well,
it all out, and then they'll
well,
figure things out more.
you couldn't be more right because they try to say that they don't have a number one driver. But like if Red Bull, they know that Max is their number one, and if you like, they've talked about it. That car is designed for Max. Alex
Oh
Albon
yeah,
just
entirely.
yeah, Alex Albon just kind of broke it down good. He said he described it as a car for Max as if he used Call of Duty. This is his analogy. He said
Mm-hmm.
that like if you played on sensitivity like 3 or 4, that's what like Alex likes. But Max likes to play on like a level 10 sensitivity. Like the
That
minute you touch that wheel, that's what he's looking for in the car. And if like I'm a Call of Duty guy, you're a Call of Duty guy, you know how hard
mm-hmm.
it is to play on level 10
Oh yeah, from
sensitivity.
three
You
from
touch,
3 to 10. Yeah, it's
yeah,
like it's
you.
instant.
Yeah, you touch that thing, and if someone's looking at you, they're like, well, "What is going on?" But you're right, because Ferrari doesn't. They say they don't have a number one, so they're not building the car like towards Charles. And I don't. I think Carlos could get it done as a number two driver, like constructor wise.
I I think that's the thing that sucks with Carlos. I think Carlos could be a number one driver on most teams.
Yeah,
Um, Obviously maybe at the top teams like Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes. Then, but I Carlos is a fantastic. I think a very underrated driver,
yeah, absolutely. And
especially for
he,
what he did with McLaren. That was
yeah,
amazing.
and he was in the Red Bull camp back in the day.
Yep.
And he was on the Toro Rosso team with Max. Unfortunately, like your two
Such
young
a
guns
yeah.
getting into the B team, and unfortunately, you're teamed up with like Max, who's probably going to be on the Mount Rushmore of F1 drivers one day.
Yeah, and I think that hurts guys like Albon. I think Albon's a really underrated driver. Gasly, I think Gasly's like a good mid-tier driver, but I think Gasly, had you given him the chance to actually grow a Red Bull, would have been amazing.
Yeah, I agree, but those guys didn't have time. They were getting freaking killed by
I mean,
Mercedes. They
I mean, I
needed a they needed
you
a
can't blame
reliable
Red
number
Bull.
two. Nope,
You can't blame
can't.
Red Bull either because it's just like they had the cars to compete. They just needed somebody to help Max.
Yeah, and that's what Sergio did. He put it to Lewis every chance he got,
Exactly.
and yeah. So, listen, you can't deny that Ferrari makes it interesting on Saturdays. Their qualifying speed is good.
Oh, for sure, the qualifying pace is amazing.
Yeah,
How do you
it's
think?
it's.
How do you think the new Aston Martin's gonna handle it?
I don't. I feel like so. If you look back last year, like Red Bull and Ferrari, they were the same qualifying racing like every week. Like Ferrari was fast on
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, Red Bull was faster on Sunday because Ferrari didn't have their tires just went way too quick.
Yeah, they
I don't feel
will.
like we have a good sample size with Aston Martin yet. Like all we know is last
Fair.
week they qualified fifth, and they Aston seem to have a better Sunday car, right? So
Okay.
I don't
All
know
right.
how I don't know how they'll do on Saturday.
Here's my counter argument because
Yep.
Horner came out and even said this himself that Aston Martin is last year's Red Bull car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sergio,
So
Sergio joked. He said it's good to see three
yeah,
Red Bulls on the podium.
yeah. But it's like, so I think Aston Martin's going to compete it too. Not
I
with this current Red Bull, but I think they'll be up there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, like it's so different to like qualifying speed compared to like race day pace. So
So before we dig into any further and we try to go into like every team and ask what we're going to think, what are your predictions? Like, give
oh,
me a
are
1-2,
we
1-2-3. Give me a
for
podium.
what? For qualifying or for the race?
Let's let's go qualifying first and then a race.
Okay, because I want to do with you. I want to do picks like top five, and I want to keep track and like I kind of have
Of
a
the
scoring
race or
system in my
or
head.
both?
We'll get to the top five picks for the race. I have
Okay.
like a scoring system in my head, and this is something that we can like. This is a way we can
Break
compete
down.
throughout the year and see what's
All
up.
right, that's fun. Okay.
But if we're gonna do qualifying, I'm gonna go top three. I'm gonna go Verstappen, Charles, and then I'm gonna go Sergio. I know it's boring. That's like the least hottest take there
Okay.
is. But
Ready? I'm
hold
gonna
up, yeah.
go.
I'm gonna write these down so that we're good
Okay.
for.
I'm gonna throw a wrench in the loops here because I think I don't think Checo gets enough credit for these street racing ability. He's amazing at it. I'm gonna go Sergio pulling pole. Give me
Okay,
Checo at pole,
he qualified pole
and
last year.
I'm gonna get Checo at pole. Give me Charles at 2 and Max at 3.
Wow, that's crazy. Putting Max down
I
at
think that
third.
I I think Charles has the Ferrari has the qualifying pace. Like
Yeah.
they seem to have that down. There's again the reliability issue there. I think Max is a great track driver. I just think Checo it just seems to like really put it together when it comes to street racing.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's actually like really tough take too because so Checo qualifies pole last year,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 years ago when Lewis Hamilton qualified pole, that was the year that Max was put in like believe two purple sectors, first and second sector, and then hit the
Mm-hmm.
wall in the last corner and wrecked.
Yep,
So I mean that's tough. And Red Bull
that's just putting the car
having
on the edge.
the best car, but yeah, I don't know. That's a good pick right there. I would say, or you agree like the rest of the field is up in the air after that? What do you think? McLaren
If
said
I'm
they're
going
bringing.
4 or 5, if
Yeah,
I'm
go
going
4 or
4 or 5 in there, I think it's a toss up between Lewis and Fernando for 4, and then whoever doesn't take 4 is going to take 5 between those two.
All right, that's safe. That's last week's bet. Let's do that. What
Yeah.
what do you got for the rest? What do you got? Are we
So
saying
are
George
we
or
do,
Russell? Are we saying George
for
or
qual? So we're
Lance
going to go for
next?
qualifying.
Yeah, we
That's the
just said
thing.
it.
So like, all right. So we're going to continue qualifying. That's the thing. I don't know how Lance's hands are doing because it seems like he put together a decent race other than that turn one incident or sorry lap one incident with Fernando, which
Yeah.
good on Fernando because old Fernando I think would have lost it already as soon as he got hit by Stroll.
I don't think
But
he knew who it was. That's why he didn't.
yeah, well, yeah, he didn't know, but still, like, it just in general, he put it together. That Ashton Martin is like a tank, man. They got hit a few times and no damage.
Yeah, I
But
don't know how the front wing didn't come off
I have
on that
no
Lance hit you're
clue. That
talking
was
about.
mind blowing to me. And you got Ferrari over here losing their front wing on lap one of qualifying.
You're
But
right. Oh
but
man.
I think so where was I? Okay, so I think I'll go Fernando 4, Lewis 5 to just give a solidified bet. I think 6 I'm gonna go with George because I still don't think Stroll's entirely recovered from that surgery and it's gonna be big on his hands. Um I'll go 7 Stroll. 8 is ooh, who finished 8 last week? Is it
Why do we have an odd number? Oh. No, we
what do you
don't.
mean?
We're good. Sorry. No, nothing. Never
Okay.
mind. We're good. I was
So
trying to think of like the top 3 teams and that are but it's actually we're throwing in 4. We're saying that it's Red Bull, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Aston. Or
Ashton
those are the
Martin.
top 4 teams.
Yep. So where was I? I was 8.
Yeah.
7 I said Troll. 8. What was the 5th fastest team? Was it Alpine? No.
Yeah. Like right?
Was it
Wouldn't that
Alpine?
be? Wouldn't that
I
be
could see a
Ocon?
Haas up there.
Come in from
I could
20th to 9th.
that was Gasly. Oh
Gasly,
yeah,
excuse me.
I'll go Ocon at 9 or 8. I'm sorry, 8. 9. I kind of want to throw a Haas in there. I kind of want to give it. Hulk hasn't tested this track yet, has he?
No, you're right because he's raced in Bahrain
Yeah.
before, but he's never raced here
How's what did
unless he.
K Mag finish last year? Do you remember? Actually, you know what? Give me Bottas at 9.
Let's go! I like that pick. I like
Give me
it. The
Bottas
minute
at
you
9.
choked up there, I said he's going with Botas. I love it.
Give me Bottas at 9. At 10, I'll go K Mag, and at 11 I'll go K Mag Hulk, and then at 12 I'll go Guan Yu Zhou.
Wow, no, really, you're really putting McLaren out there like that, huh? You do
Yeah,
not care.
McLaren's. Nah, they're bad, man. I feel
They're
so
bringing
bad for
upgrades. They
Norris.
said they're bringing little
Is
upgrades.
it this race or is it? I thought it was
No,
like the 4th race in the season.
they said they're bringing little upgrades to here in
I
Australia. That's the
still,
first 3 races.
like they had an entire season to figure out, all season to figure out their car, and they just went backwards. I don't trust anything McLaren's doing right now. I think I have a love hate relationship with Zach Brown. I can't tell if he knows what he's doing or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, well, so where were we? That was 12, right? That was Guan Yu Zhou. So 13th,
I don't know how you're remembering all this. I definitely forget after we're talking through
13.
it.
Okay, I'll go Albon at 13.
Okay.
14. What do we have left? We have McLaren's.
You
We
have
got another
McLaren's,
Williams.
AlphaTauris, and Logan
Oh,
Sargent.
Alpha. Okay. Give me the top Alpha. Yeah, give me Yuki at 14. Give me Yuki at 14.
Yuki. Okay.
Okay, 15. We have who am I? I'll give Norris a 15. Yeah, Norris 15.
Oh
16. I'll
God,
go
this is
Piastri.
so disrespectful to Lando. Oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't lose.
I don't think it's not Lando. It's that car, man. I think Lando could be competing at the top if he's had a decent car underneath him.
I will say
Uh,
Lando did get 15th and qualified last week. He just snuck in because he tied Logan. So yeah,
mhm.
I'm giving you a hard time, but that is kind of where he qualified last week.
Yeah. So let's go. So 15. I said Lando. 16. I said Piastri 16, or was
Okay.
Lando something like that? So we have Sargent left, and who else am I forgetting? I should have wrote all this down.
Yeah, listen. I got your top 3 down for
Yeah,
qualifying,
yeah.
and then when
All
we
right.
go through our top 5 picks, I'll write that down. My hot take is that Logan Sargent is gonna start out qualifying Alex Albon here soon. I'm just
Really?
saying soon. I liked Sargent's week 1 performance was very good. It was good, and he has
Now,
a
do you
lot
think it
less
was good? Do
experience.
you think? Do you think that Williams is as bad as Alex thought it was during testing? Because he said they were going to be fishing back at the grid, and he scored points in his first race.
Yeah, yeah. What I like about Williams is that they got their new whatever their technical term for their head guy is that came from Mercedes.
Yep. Oh,
James, I
that's
forget
right.
his last name. It's James
It's
something.
gonna brain fart him. It's gonna. I'm gonna have to
Yes,
look this up. I'm gonna brain fart this.
that's fine. But so I feel like he's gonna bring some juice to that team. And Williams last year was a really good low downforce team, so They were good on all these fast tracks, so they might pull out something good tomorrow. Um, but I think Logan Sargent's gonna pull through. Ryan McComb thinks that Tony Stewart for the win. So
Tony Stewart.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think I was thinking more Dale Earnhardt Sr. You know.
Oh, that's little up from the dead action there. Okay. Listen,
James
go
James
ahead.
Vowles is his name. Is that his
Fouls.
name?
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
think he'll bring
strategy
some.
guy.
I think he'll bring some juice to that team. I do like though that Ryan's throwing out his unfortunately wrong prediction in chat. But listen, we love when the chat's going. So make sure when we're throwing our picks at you guys at home are throwing your picks in as
I
well.
don't want to say something too wild. Let's not go into Tony Stewart's history.
No, we're not. We're gonna skip past that. He's drag racing right now, anyways.
Is he?
Yeah.
I thought he'd be out, but
No, he's drag racing. That's his thing right now. One thing I wanted to get your take on about this track is so last 2 years, in my opinion, the DRS detection line has made this race very exciting.
mm-hmm.
So 2 years ago, there's the famous Lewis Hamilton hits Max Verstappen.
Yep.
So that situation, Max kind of gets in front of Lewis by going off track and is told he has to give the place back. So they get to the backstretch before the detection zone. Max slows up. Lewis, I'm a big Lewis fan, but I do think Lewis ran into the back of him. But I think they were playing games. I think Max was trying to give the spot back right before the detection line so he would have DRS and maybe could get him down the front stretch, and that's kind of what caused that. And then if you saw last year, they were literally brake checking to not be the first person over the line.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
It kind of made the race interesting. It kind of is like a little goofy that's what the racing has come to. That like but it's strategy. Yeah. I don't hate it. The race was good last year. They swapped positions, Max and Charles, a couple times. I don't know what your thoughts on that were. I thought it was exciting. I thought that detection point down the front stretch makes for a good racing, but
yeah. So Charles last year when he won Bahrain, I think Max decided to switch up his strategy. He realized that the Ferrari's got some crazy speed to it. We can't just go gung ho and go balls to the wall and just try to outpace them because that's just not going to happen from last year. So I think he approached it with a different strategy going into the track race. So that's why they were kind of constantly brake checking. I think this year Red Bull's going to run away with it pretty handedly again.
You don't even think it'll matter? You don't think the detection point will matter?
Not. I think for the midfield teams and stuff. Yeah, I think Red Bull's taking this 1-2, barring a crash or a DNF of some technical problems.
Yeah, I mean you didn't really see anything crazy. It's just to see the top two drivers last year. Like there's a clip where I think it's Charles. He hits the brake and they lock up and they smoke so that Max is in front of him at the detection. You're like first and second are brake checking each other, trying to not get be the first one past the detection is crazy.
And then from the previous year with Lewis, they both were just at each other's throats at that point. They did. I don't care what they try to say to each other. They did not like each other that year at all.
I loved it.
It was entertaining. The drama was entertaining. It was extremely entertaining. But at that point, you start to, especially like I'm a Lewis fan. I'm a Mercedes fan. Just to watch how Max was handling the whole situation, just give that a little bit of extra hatred towards Max. It felt dirty, but yeah, Lewis did run into the back of him. Obviously, Max knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to again beat that line, but I don't think this year will be too big of an issue.
No, well, hey, we'll be live next Monday to chat about it if there is an issue.
For sure.
Yeah. Besides that, I pulled up some stats before we came on here, just because I'm interested to see with all the with the cars changing. So like qualifying 2021, so that was before this new generation of car. Hamilton's on pole with a 1 minute 27 second .511. Last year, so new generation car, they ran a 128.2. That's Sergio Perez. So they were about 7/10 slower last year. But if you saw Bahrain, so this is the second year of the new generation car at Bahrain, they were faster, obviously, because they're only going to get faster. So I'm interested to see how much they close that gap as these races go on. I like paying attention to see, because they took like 2 steps back, but all they're going to do is probably take 3 or 4 steps forward and get these cars going real quick around that track.
I'm sorry. What was the difference in Bahrain from this year to last year? The
Oh,
time
this
difference?
year to last year, Bahrain was, I think it was 5 to 7 tenths. I forget what the exact number was. I just know
Yeah.
from the old car to the new car at Jeddah, they were looking at about 7 tenths. So
Okay.
yeah,
Um.
I mean, and just the Red Bull's only getting faster, so it's gonna get more
Yeah. I
exciting.
think teams are going to catch up to them eventually. I don't think it'll happen this year, but I think teams will catch up to them.
I did read somewhere that Christian Horner said something about how like when Mercedes was coming out dominant in the hybrid era, that it
Mhm.
was hard to try to figure out motor stuff, but with these new cars and the same engine, Christian Horner thinks that teams will catch up faster because it's more aerodynamic. I just thought that was interesting because I think they have the best car designer. So
I will
it's
give
tough.
Christian credit where credit's due. He's really good at his job. Uh, he knows how to keep people guessing. I don't believe a word that comes out of his mouth.
Oh man, really? You don't like him like that?
No, that's what I don't. He's good at his job. He knows how to He knows how to keep Red Bull ahead.
Yep.
It's like almost. I feel like he's kind of giving a little bit of false hope, at least to the fans. The technical directors for everywhere, other teams probably know where they're at and know that Red Bull is just on another level right now. I think they will catch up, but I just don't think it. Maybe towards the end of the season, I could see some. I could. I don't think Red Bull's taking on 23 races, 25, whatever it is for the total contract, the total year. I don't think they're
Yeah.
taking every race. I think they're gonna have some DNS. They're gonna have some problems here or there. I think you'll get some rain that'll throw in things for a loop, and you'll get some different finishes. But if it's like neutral racing and everything works out for them, or everything stays no technical problems, they're going to take a majority of the races. I wouldn't be surprised if Max breaks his record he set last year for most race wins in a season.
All right. So that's actually perfect transition to a question that I had for you, like a season question I had for you. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
ask you over under on max wins this year.
What do you have? 14 last year?
I think so. Oh, that's such a
And,
disgusting number in 1 year.
it really is, but it's also a longer season. Ferrari fell off big time, and Red Bull stepped it up towards the second half of the season. Hold on, let me just look. How many? Do you know how many races are this year?
I
25.
don't. I think it was 23 last year. I don't know where we're at this year.
I'm gonna Google this again. One second. There's
There are
20,
23.
23. Yep. So I'm gonna have to take back that because 15's a lot, and
15 is a lot.
I think Red Bull's also a lot more confident this year that they're gonna lock it up pretty early. So I think they might let Checo race this year,
Oh,
at least a
okay.
little bit
Okay.
more than they did last year. That was something I wanted to talk about too. Do you
Yeah.
think they're gonna let them race? But anyways, I'm gonna say under because I think Aston Martin's gonna pull a little more. I think Aston Martin will get a few race win, one or two. I think Ferrari will get a race win, one or two, and I think Rain. So I'll go under.
So, so if we're saying 14 and a half, you're going with under?
Yep.
Okay. I like it. Listen, so I don't want. I feel like I got to take the over. I'm gonna just go over here, but I don't want to see
No, this
them
is
go
just
that high.
Max. This is okay.
This is just Max because I think
Okay.
he's. I think if he's gonna win the most races of anyone this year. I think that's.
Oh, for sure. That's a given. I just don't think. I like I said. I also think Red Bull's gonna let them race a little bit more this year. At least
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do.
I,
That was
I
painful
think
to
that.
watch for Checo last year.
I think that's a good point. Um, that we didn't get to really see them race that much last year. I'm trying to think like to Spain when Max had his DRS troubles. So I feel like they put him on a crazy different strategy that worked out great. And then obviously Brazil was a mess, but if you followed the
Mm-hmm.
rumor mill enough, that was payback from Perez wrecking himself in Monaco during qualifying. So I do like your point. Like if I mean if they won these first couple races and that lead is pretty solid, why would they not let him go at it? You know,
Yeah,
Checo deserves
I
it.
think
He's
it's
a
gonna
good
happen.
he,
Oh,
yeah.
it was heartbreaking to watch him some of the times last year. Even though they said that was payback for the Monaco. That was like Max. You have everything locked in. Like this guy has done so much for you. He's benefited the team so much. You've got to give him that. You got to give him
Right?
that, man.
Even with the
It,
Monaco thing, even
like
with it, it's
dude, like
still you still give the position back.
it was mind boggling to me. And then like this, dude, fans, man, they had me going crazy. Just like I can, I can appreciate Max's talent. I think he's like you said, Mount Rushmore of F1 for sure. He'll be up
He'll
there
be
by the end of
there.
his
He'll be there
career,
one day.
and let barring some horrific thing happening, which praying it doesn't happen, he'll be up there for sure. But there's times where it's just like you can just see the image. I wouldn't even say it's immaturity. I would say it's who he is. It's just
Yep.
like it's like the silver spoon in the mouth. He's surrounded by a bunch of yes men because they knew from an early age he was going to be the guy in F1. So he's never been told no, it seems like. And he constantly gets his way. And then when you have a situation like last year in Brazil happen, and then the team even backs him up on it, it's just
Yeah.
it's not a good look.
I agree. Those the videos of Checo's qualifying run, the code, because everyone went on board. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you watched any of those. Him yanking
Oh
on the
yeah,
gas, coming out of that turn to spin out,
yeah.
and he didn't do that any of his other laps. It was like, you can't get away with anything anymore. You just can't.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's
you're
crazy.
gonna get caught. All right. Well, back to Jeddah this week. What do you think? You want to make some predictions here? Me and you. We'll take our top five.
All right, I want to hear yours first.
You
Actually, you
want
went
me to?
first for qualifying, right?
Yeah. It was just super
Okay,
boring.
okay. So I'll go. I think Max is going to win the race. I think Checo's going to be second. I think it's going to be really close though. Um, three, I'll go for. I think same podium as last year. I'm sorry, last season. Last race.
Okay,
Fernando's going to, I
Fernando.
think, place third.
Yep.
Four, four Charles, and five. I think we're going to get either Hamilton or Russell. I'll go Hamilton with five.
Wow, you're not even putting Carlos in that top five. I like it. I like it.
Gotta throw something there.
Um, I feel like you're riding very high on this Aston Martin team, and I like it.
It's Red Bull 2.0.
It's Red Bull. It is. It is. It is.
It's
I'm
last
not.
year's car. It's hard to like. It's hard. Like no one besides Red Bull is faster than last year's Red Bull.
That's true. Oh, I would make the argument that Mercedes at the end of the year was faster, but
Oh yeah,
I
but
don't even. It looks like they
we
took
don't
four
know what
steps
happened this
back.
season. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think those are all good choices. I. It's exciting, like talking about Fernando in the top three every week, isn't it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So if I have to make my picks, I get you got to go Max one. I don't know how you don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Charles too, just because he was in second last week. They said that the tires won't fall off as hard at this track, so hopefully he'll be able to keep Checo ahead because I think Checo paced that race perfectly. I think he had second no matter what if Charles didn't break. You know what, and I'm gonna go with an issue to Checo this race. I'm going issue
Really,
to Checo. Yep.
that's fair.
And
I guess.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Russell for third. I'm gonna put Russell on the podium.
You
Mr.
think
Top.
Russell's better? You think Russell's better than Lewis in track in street circuits?
Russell just had a better run here last year. They set the cars up very differently in qualifying. Lewis had to come from much further back.
Lewis
Lewis.
was experimenting.
Oh yeah, no. They put them on two completely different setups. So shout us out to the cat.
Yeah.
I love it. No, I love it. They put him on two completely different setups. But there's something about Russell. He just like always seems to be kind of there and keeping the car in one piece. So I'm gonna go Russell, then I'm gonna go Lewis. So what's that? That's my top four, and then I'm gonna go Fernando fifth, just because I don't want to hop on this Fernando hype train yet. I know you're on it. Shouts out. Shouts out to the cat. No, I know you're on the Fernando hype train. I'm gonna keep him fifth. I think you're gonna be right, but this is just what my gut's telling me. So I was thinking, hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
You get 3 points if you put the guy in the right place, and 1 point if he's in the wrong place but in the top 5.
Okay. So what we okay, so
So
do you
like if
wanna Do you want to get like the race winner a little bit higher of a total? Like if we get the race winner right, so like
So
make it like 4.
race winner. Race winner 5,
Okay, we
and
can do that.
then
Yeah.
correct position 3 in the top 5 one.
All right, sounds good.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna have to write down, go back and
Yeah,
watch the stream.
I got it down in my notes here. So,
Okay.
uh, we're good. Did you I want to talk about two things. One, did you see any of the radio chatter from Max last week?
I didn't.
So it's getting so disgusting out here for Max that they asked Max on the radio to slow down. He was
Oh,
running
really?
he was running 36 twos, and they asked him to run 37 O's, I believe. And he said, "I will do it if everyone else is going to slow down." Pretty typical Max and racer answer, not wanting to slow down. And they literally on the
Yeah.
radio was like, "There's no race for you, Max." And then he wasn't slowing down, and they asked him again. They were like, "Please don't make me ask. Like, please don't make me have to ask again." And then they said to him, they were like, "If you could apply a little bit more brakes," like literally asking him to brake to slow down. That's how fast he is. Like they're asking him to slow down 7 tenths because he had Checo covered, and it wasn't even a race with anyone else. Can you imagine? Seven
What was
tenths.
the cover? What was the gap between him and Checo?
They gapped it out. I don't know. Was it
Was
it was
it?
in the was it in the teens or the low 20s?
I think so.
I know they keep bringing it up that it was 50
Yeah.
seconds to Lewis.
To Lewis, yeah, but they're gonna keep on doing that because there's an unspoken rivalry.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's just that's. I mean, he crushed everyone. It's not like it was like close at all.
Yeah.
Uh, and then this is just listen. I want to talk about rumors because they're fun. Not that we are
Hmm.
going to shed too much light on them, but I guess we are by talking about them. I heard
Okay.
a rumor, and I want to know if you heard it too, that Mercedes engine might be given Aston Martin top priority if like Mercedes doesn't pick it up.
No,
I
I
mean,
don't think so. It's just like there's too much.
yeah,
I mean,
listen
it's
though, like
Mercedes. You
you
can't
want
you
you
can't
want
just like
you want your engine to win the constructor championship, and if Mercedes doesn't have the car to do it, you give your best engines to Aston Martin. I don't know. It was a rumor that came up this week. I'm like you. I don't think it can happen. I think it's absurd, but it's
it's
funny
also
that
I
they
also
start
think I also
they're
think
chatting about
Aston's
it.
gonna take a. I think Aston's also gonna do a really good job of like making sure they have the best engines possible. Anyways.
Yeah, but they get their engines from Mercedes, so
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying he's taking care of them. I think they're gonna do a better job taking care of them than Mercedes because Mercedes is gonna like ride their engines on edge to try
yeah.
to make up for the gap they have. Now, question I want to ask you: do you think Toto's actually serious about wanting to get rid of the entire concept they got going on with the
Yeah,
Mercedes car? Do you think
absolutely.
so?
I think they're ditching the zero side pod
So,
idea.
yeah, I think
So
that.
that's
But
they said
do,
Imola's their big upgrade package, and that's apparently,
okay,
and I think that's what they're gonna do. I know the internet's getting mad that Toto is toting out there that his car is like not good and apologizing for his failures, but
that's what I'm saying. Do you think Toto's kind of just throwing it out there to like throw teams off a little bit, or do you think he's 100% like real about this?
I think you gave it all last year, and then you had all off season, and it's really
Yeah,
the zero. They're the only team with this zero side pod idea, and it's not up
it's
to
not working.
standards.
Yeah,
Um, I know. I heard another podcast. They want Mercedes to just throw the whole season, scrap this, focus on next year, get more wind tunnel time. I don't think you're in that desperation mode yet. I think
yeah.
after
I'd
the
say wait. I
first
would say
race,
wait. I would say wait a few more races and then decide that
yeah,
because
you don't want to throw your whole season away
because
after this second race. But
if it looks like Aston Martin's gonna finish third in constructors or second maybe because they might
mm,
even beat Ferrari. Um, I would say maybe scrap it, but I would wait later in the season. I'd wait like 5 or 6 races and
yeah, I'm interested though, because like they're this fast, this Mercedes with zero side pods. So like, what happens if they put on kind of what someone else, what these other guys have been running? Will their car like be that much better, or will they know nothing about it and they're gonna
yeah,
have to
that is
take a step
well.
back?
They seemed so confident, especially all last season, and like the numbers they were getting in the simulator. So I'm curious what's going wrong if the numbers in the simulator aren't representing what is being put out on track.
Yeah, they I it's it's like there's too much like hopes and dreams in the wind tunnel and in the simulator that they're gonna get it
Yeah,
right, and we keep going to the track weekend after weekend and not getting the right results. So it's tough. It's tough if you're a
uh,
Mercedes fan. If you're a Red Bull fan, I think you're absolutely loving this domination right now.
oh yeah, it's
What
gonna be a
midfield battle this week? What are you thinking? Who's where? Just you don't maybe you don't have to go
so
person wise, but just what team's gonna look strongest?
um I think a surprise team that we could throw up there is gonna be why am I brain finding their name? Not Aston Martin.
Alfa Romeo.
Alpha.
Yep.
Alpha. I think Bottas is really good on track. I'm sorry, street circuits. Guan Yu Zhou, I think, is a really underrated driver.
Yep.
Uh, I know he's a pay driver, but I think he proved himself last year that he's not just a pay driver. He's not, goat Tiffy. He's not a Mazepin. He has some talent and he can actually compete. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if Alpha gets. I wouldn't be. I know. I put Guan Yu Zhou out of the points, but I wouldn't be surprised if both score points.
Okay. All right. I like that. That'd be a great day for them. They'd freaking they'd probably sell their kidneys for a double points finish. I don't think they've had one in quite some time.
What
What do you
about
think? You
you?
think you think McLaren makes a jump at all this week or no?
Maybe P13. I'm
P13.
hoping Piastri. I'm hoping Piastri can actually finish the race.
Okay. Yep.
So I'm kind of that's who I'm more interested in out of that team because I think Lando's going to produce results somewhere down the road. I'm kind of curious how Oscar Piastri handles the whole situation. I'm hoping he starts proving himself to be replacing the honey badger there.
Yeah, that Mr. Ricardo. Um, that was kind of a storyline through the testing was that like if McLaren was cars was really fast and Lando was qualifying fourth and fifth and Piastri had expectations to keep up to that, that might be a lot on him. But if the car's not that great and they're both qualifying like midfield together, that might they were saying that might be better for Oscar, put less pressure on him. But I don't know. I think
True.
pressure builds diamonds, baby. We got to you want to put your race team up front, you got to put some pressure on them. So
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like
especially you look at what's
Lewis
his name
Lewis's
last
rookie
year.
year.
Oh, Lewis's rookie year. How about
Yeah,
De Vries? So I know Williams was
Oscar.
great in the low downforce package last year at Monza, but he hops in the car when Alex Albon had his surgery and finishes in
Mm-hmm.
the top 10. Like
His
that's crazy.
appendix. Yeah.
And then now you see him in the AlphaTauri and he was nowhere even near a top 10 this past or last weekend. So
What do
man,
you think the end goal is for Yuki?
yeah.
Because
Okay.
it seems like they really want to push him to be on Red Bull, but
No, there's
like
zero
I
chance
was like, yeah,
Yuki's
I was like, I
ever
don't think it's
driving.
happening.
Put it on wherever right now. Zero chance that Yuki is ever in one of those Red Bull cars. And I and so what do? You're in the Red Bull like feeder program, right? That's essentially, the B team.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to go there. I think he has way too much anger issues and he hasn't produced enough results. Like it's not like he's going to get a Ferrari or Mercedes ride. So what
No,
is he going to do after this? Like where do you that's a great question. I think he's kind of just going to float in this car and then be out.
I think so too, and it's sad because I think he does have the speed. He just can't produce consistency, and he needs to cool down. I
It's
think
a
it's all
very
he focused on. Yeah, I think he focused balls to the wall.
listen, it's a race. You got to be good at every single lap. It's all about
Yeah,
putting in those lap
You need
times.
that finesse.
Yeah, with fast within each other. But yeah, no,
It
that's a
it
great thing. I
sucks
think
because his
I think Yuki's
first race
out.
he finished in the points, right?
Yeah,
His
yeah,
first, yeah.
yeah.
Granted, that Alpha. To be fair though, that that car, that AlphaTauri that year was actually not as bad as it probably should have been.
Yeah,
Especially, it seemed like Gasly that year lived in P6.
yeah.
It felt like every race he was in P6.
Isn't it interesting though? So they're like technically and really are the B team, right, for Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
How are they so far off from Red Bull? Like how does Aston Martin have a car that resembles a Red Bull more than the Red Bull's B team? Right? You ever like think about like that doesn't make sense
No,
to me.
I never honestly put two and two together to think like
I
that. I always thought like Red Bull was completely 100% focused on themselves, and that they're just there to see if these drivers can compete at all to move into Red Bull eventually.
Yeah, but
But even now, like it seems like if they hang on to, unless Max decides to retire early, which I know honestly I wouldn't be surprised if he does decide to retire early. But unless Max decides to retire early, it seems like they're just going to pick up veteran drivers to replace Checo after Checo's done.
I I I think I kind of agree. Like, especially if Max is still dominating, do you want to try to grab someone who's going to challenge him and have turmoil in the team, or you want to keep kind of grabbing some veterans who are going to play a number two
Hear me
role
out.
well?
Hear me out. Ready?
No, don't. What are you about to say? This is
Yuki's
what you're here
gone. No,
for.
wait, no, Yuki's
What?
gone after let's say 2. I don't know what contract he's under. I haven't
Yeah.
looked into it. But after Yuki's career is done, we got the Honey Badger back in the Alpha Tauri.
No.
We got the
He's
Honey
not gonna.
Badger back in the Alpha Tauri. He sits there for a year and then he replaces Checo.
I don't. Ricardo's not that. I don't
I
think
don't
he's
think.
young
I don't
enough
think
for
it's not
that.
gonna. It's not gonna. It's not gonna happen at all. I just. That's another one. What's gonna happen? I don't think Danny Rick has a seat anywhere. He turned down his only 2 shots at a seat. Was it Williams and Haas that offered him? Right.
Yeah.
I don't know where
Wow.
he's gonna go.
Yeah. Where do you? What
That's
is?
sad to see
What does Chad
because it
think?
was like
Danny Rick's gonna end up. That's a good one.
McLaren like did him filthy.
They paid him $18 million to.
Oh, I'm aware of that, but I'm just saying like the car design was nowhere near what like it was like. He was talking to a brick wall. He's like, "Hey, I like the car this way," but obviously Lando's the number 1 driver there, so they're gonna listen to Lando. But
Yeah, they fired the only driver that's given them a win in like the last 10 years. Can you
that's fair.
imagine?
But like at the same, yeah, I mean like Lando outdrove that car's capability many a times, so you got to
Abs-
stick with Lando.
yeah, absolutely. No, that was
And
a good. I like what you just did there with like Yuki, and I like that. That was good. That's good. That's good. You got to think because like they're gonna want more. They're gonna want more young talent in that B team.
I'm surprised they hung on to. He was shocked they hung on to him. He's like, I crashed the car too much. Yuki,
Oh yeah.
remember, like, was it last year or the year before? He was like, I'm surprised you guys gave me another year or whatever. Like, kept on crashing the car.
Yeah, I think this is. I think this is year 3.
Yeah, year
That
3.
one.
Yeah, year 3.
So yeah, no, I'm shocked about
There's a
it.
lot of drivers you can question though. Like, I think Albon's gonna be stuck in Williams the rest of his career.
It's tough. I would like to see him back in a Red Bull, but
I wouldn't be surprised if McLaren starts picking things back up if he ends up in McLaren.
you can't forget that Schumacher's sitting as a reserve driver on Mercedes, so he could fill one of these seats too.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions for what's going to happen for like driver lineups in the future, but that's down the line.
What else you got for Jeddah this weekend? Anything?
Not that I can think. I'm trying to think.
No. What let me check.
What
Let me
about
check
you?
my.
You got any shockers? You got any like?
No, there's no.
You don't think anything's gonna happen?
Shockers. I don't even. Does it rain out there? I don't even. Did I get rain?
Probably not.
Yeah, right. We're kind of out on the desert tour right now, so I don't think that's gonna like throw a monkey wrench into qualifying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's gonna be any shockers. It's produced some good races in the past, so I absolutely hope for that too.
I just hope we don't get to a DRS train. I hate those kind of races.
Yeah, I don't think this is a DRS zone or type of track. I know what you're saying. I don't think it is one of those, but it could be. I looking at my calendar right now. Me and Alex are on the East Coast of the USA. This is a 1 p.m. race, so it's not
1
a
p.m.
Sunday morning.
East Coast.
Yeah, it's not a 1 a. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
a Sunday morning race. It's a lunch race. So.
I don't think I've seen an Australia race yet.
Like you have to stay. I went to bed and then woke up at like 1 or 2. I forget what it was.
It's because what time is it? It's like 2 a.m. Right? It starts for us.
It's early.
Yeah.
I don't know why my phone's not showing it.
They always mid. I just read that now.
Yeah, I can't. Don't talk about the legend. Okay, raise hell, praise Dale. You know what I'm saying? Ryan's not even watching anymore. But, yeah. No. All right. So we're back 5:30 to go over the race and to see which one of us is better at picking the top 5. So
Yeah,
I mean, we
definitely gotta
both picked
rewatch
Max.
this.
We both picked Max to win. So if he wins, we
Yeah,
both get that. We both get that big 5 points. So
but you got Charles at 2, right? And I had Checo at
yeah,
2.
I'll
And
screenshot it to you and send it to you.
all right, sounds
And,
good.
and that way, while you're watching, all right, brother. I will see you next week.
All right, it was a pleasure. Hopefully,
All
we
right.
keep this organization going and more technical difficulties.
Hey, did you pull up the stream on YouTube or Twitch or anything?
Yeah, it looks good. It looks a lot better than the first week. Like
Then
the
two,
backdrop.
yeah, then
It's
two
like
random.
if we could just get rid of that Red Bull there, I think, right? Is that what's in the background there?
Yeah.
Can we put the can we get the McLaren livery when they had the Golf?
So I'm not super technical, and when I asked to get like graphics for the screen, I don't know if you
Okay.
can see. So the H and the S, that's the whole story logo. He just put
Yep.
this over a random car, and he chose Red Bull. That's the first thing I showed Brooke. I was like, oh, he couldn't put this over like a Mercedes or anything. Like, this dude probably just Googled like Formula One something, and the first car that came up, he threw it on here. So I'm probably gonna get like a
Probably,
cease and
yeah.
desist for this. But yes, no, we're looking better week 2.
It
I
does. Looks clean. It looks clean.
Yeah, like graphics are kind of hard to make, so I don't want to like. In my mind, I was like,
We,
maybe I can
you
figure
know, who we
out
should
like.
talk to Mr. Dale Earnhardt over here. We can get some funny graphics in the background.
Listen, if anyone's watching, and not that anyone is, but the Clip Art King is good friends of ours in the chat. This dude can make some funny stuff for you. All right. Oh my gosh, we got some group text where he's making some stuff up that'll put you on the floor. You're right. We do have to reach out to him. Maybe put him to work.
For
I
sure.
like that, Alex. All right, brother.
All
I
right.
will talk to you later.
All right. Deuces, man. Plus one.
Later. Oh man. All right, good chat with Alex. Went over the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. One thing that I like to do, I haven't done it this year yet, honestly, because it's the week 2, and last week was an absolute disaster. I don't know if you guys were watching, but it shut off after 18 minutes. After that 18 minutes was after like an hour and a half of trying to figure stuff out, and my laptop died. So, end of the stream, one thing I like to do because Sunday is for 3 things mainly, and that is God, family, and racing, in that order. So, I usually go over either what I watched, or if I didn't watch something, maybe I'll watch like highlights of it. So, I don't know what you guys watched this week. Let me hear about it in the chat. But NASCAR on Sunday. If you guys don't know, we're fans of Kyle Larson around here and Ryan Preece. From the area where I'm from, know him personally. He's an awesome dude. He's got a great ride in a Stewart Haas this year, his best car yet. And he's had some bad luck the first couple of weeks, but he's going to keep producing great results. We'll take a look at the results over here on the screen. So if you didn't watch the race this week, second week in a row, a late caution has come out and screwed the leader. So last week, Kyle Larson was leading basically the whole race. Caution comes out. William Byron gets him on the restart, wins the race. This week, Kyle Larson again was leading most of the race, but Kevin Harvick takes over at Phoenix, a track that he's absolutely dominated at. If you watch this race on Sunday, all they did was talk about his stats. He's got like the most top 10s. I don't think he's ever finished outside the top 10. Most laps led. He's got like 9 wins there. It's like the most wins one person has at any track. Maybe, don't quote me on that. But Kevin Harvick is absolutely dominating Phoenix. And it's last year. I think everyone's kind of a little bit soft. Like they want him to win a race in his last year. And he didn't get the job done, but no reason to be dark about it, because if you guys know anything about NASCAR, the last race of the year is at Phoenix. So Kevin Harvick will have a chance to put that car back up, hopefully in the top, maybe even. Okay, championship to close out the career would be absolutely insane. The car's looking like it's got a little bit of speed. So that was pretty much the rundown. Larson and Byron were out front most of the race, and then Kevin Harvick took over. And like I said, our guy Ryan Preece getting better every week, finished 12th. Kurt Busch 8th. Big names there as we go through. Truex down in 17th. He's struggling a little bit lately. I kind of feel bad for him. Denny Hamlin down in 23rd. Chastain 24th. I don't know if you guys saw Eric Almirola hit the wall and his like wheel ripped in part. The rim ripped in too, I'm pretty sure. It was pretty nuts. It wasn't, I mean, I'm sure it was a hard hit. Television doesn't make it look hard, but I'm sure he was sore the next day. So that was my Sunday race, and then Saturday night, if I don't catch the Supercross race like I didn't this week, I pull it up on Peacock Sunday morning. This is like the first year in a long time that I've watched Supercross. My dad was always had Supercross on, and I'd watch it and think it was cool. But this is the first time I've like followed it week in and week out, pretty much. I have so much respect for these guys. One, they showed the ruts this week, and those things are so deep. Like when you're just watching the race and they're going through them, it don't look that crazy. But when they pull the camera to them, maybe like in between like a heat race or the races, those ruts are deep. I even believe Chase Sexton caught his foot pedal in one, which ended his race for the win pretty much. But those ruts are deep. Their whoop section, again, they make it look so easy. They slow mo. Oh my gosh, every joint in my body hurts watching them guys do it, and they do it week in, week out. I have so much credit for those guys. They make hard stuff look way too easy. And I also like Supercross right now too. When I don't have when I don't have like a guy I'm really rooting for. Back in the days, rooting for like Bubba Stewart all the time to win. But now just watching, enjoying races. It's weird. Sometimes you watch a game or a race, you don't have a driver, you're just like pretty chilled back. But this week it was awesome. Ken Roxon won. He is been around for a while, kicking butt. Is one of those dudes where like everyone was happy he won. All the riders came up to him after the race. The announcers, the stands, they just like wanted him to win this race. In second place, Justin Barcia. Again, he's a driver. Not a lot of wins in the past couple of years, these two guys. They've been around for a while. So seeing them battle 1 and 2 was absolutely insane. The crowd was loving it, going crazy. Justin Barcia caught him pretty hard in the last couple last couple laps. They had a really good battle. Cooper Webb hang on to third place. That actually puts him first in the points for this year. If you look down this list here, Eli Tomac finishes 8th. He's now second in points. He's your last year's champion. He's been riding really consistent, but he didn't look like he had the speed at all this week. I don't know what you guys thought. Sometimes you could just kind of see it sometimes when you're watching the heat race and you're like, wow, this guy's really tearing it up, or this guy doesn't look like his normal self. And then down in 10th place, I think he's kind of like the old school Bubba Stewart. He's probably the fastest dude out there every week. But it's about being consistent and not having these silly mistakes. But pure speed, he's so fast. He was running second, put in the heat on Roxon. I think he was just kind of playing it safe, waiting for his opportunity. And like I said, they think that maybe he either caught his foot pedal, which maybe changed the gear, but he crashed early, finished 10th, so staying the third in points. So I know last weekend was crazy with racing. I didn't get to talk about it on the stream, but I know I watched Formula One. I know IndyCar was on for a hot second. NASCAR was on. There was just so much racing on. And this week, again, we got NASCAR on Sunday. Formula One's on at 1. Supercross is on Saturday night on Peacock. If you guys don't have Peacock, I know my old man doesn't, so he's got to hit that record somewhere else. But make sure to get those races on DVR or something. You definitely don't want to miss those Supercross races. They're pretty exciting. So that's that. We're loving racing. Ooh. I also didn't get to talk about our guy David Gravel, World of Outlaws driver. They've done 5 races. They were all at Volusia Speedway. Rain caused some to get delayed, and they were coming back anyways. But World of Outlaws have raced 5 times. David's won 3, second place in another, and then he was involved in a wreck and I believe finished 12th in the other race. So we got 3 wins, a second, and then a 12th for David. So we're really excited about that. And they're actually coming up to the Northeast, I believe, this weekend. I believe they got Williams Grove and Lincoln on the schedule. So we're gonna hope that David keeps this momentum up. I mean, he's no doubt the most talented, fastest driver in that group. It's just about the consistency of some of these other guys. Brad Sweet the last couple of years is the consistency of him is underrated. But every year David's getting more consistent with that speed. So I think his time is coming, and you don't want to miss those World of Outlaws races. They're exciting. Dirt Vision, check those deals out. They're real good. So yes, the whole story wrapping up week 2 of this season. I would love for it to not be a season thing, and we just kind of get this thing going weekly and maybe multi-weekly down the line, just chatting about racing, anything. You guys maybe got something that I'm not talking about any racing, throw it down in the chat. There's a good chance I know about it, or I checked it out, or maybe I will check it out. I know once MotoGP comes back around, I like checking that out. Some of those like you definitely don't catch live. Gotta fast forward to the race and watch that, or else my wife would divorce me for watching too much racing. But yeah, we're starting to get into the summer season. Racing's everywhere. So any racing stuff you guys got, drop it in the comments. As corny as it sounds, like, subscribe, means a lot on Twitch and YouTube right now. So like I said, we'll be back on Monday. Myself, get Alex back to talk about the race. Hopefully we'll see you guys then. Take care.